I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yo, what is up, everybody? You know what it is. Another episode of the 2.0 Challenge podcast. It's your boy, Lim Gonzalez, a.k.a. Uncle Lim here. And of course, I got the crew with me, gang, next to me. And she's always looking so fly. And she never plays at all. She don't even play no kind of game. Sensei in the building.
What it do? I'm so excited to talk about this episode, you guys. We got Aneesa. Oh, sorry, I just spilled it, but I can't wait.
It's all right. That's all right. We've advertised it. Yeah. They know. And of course, our messy correspondent, Messy Melody, is in the building.
Hey guys, make sure you leave me some combo down in the chat below because I'm reading it today.
Yeah, for sure. My A1 since day one. Nino is not with us tonight. We miss him. But he will be with us tomorrow because we do have a special podcast that we're doing tomorrow, lunchtime podcast with none other than Rogan. So you got to be tuning in, and I'll let you know at the end of the show, of course. But right now, we're going to talk about this episode real quick before we bring our special guest. So what do you guys think about this episode? This is one of my favorites by far, for sure.
Look, it was messy.
Yes.
Honey, all I could write is the bunker is making everyone insane.
Crazy.
There must be some in that bunker air because we know it ain't air. You know what I'm saying? It's something up in
fire
there.
Extinguisher.
Okay, that is getting people really out of their personalities a little bit, popping off. People are out here popping off.
Yeah,
absolutely. What you think, Mel?
I mean, I was here for them. It was very dramatic. It was more messy, and that freaking challenge tribunal.
Elimination, girl.
Elimination. There we go. I'm still shambled. Like I can't believe how that went down.
She said
purgatory.
Challenge, honey. That was a challenge, okay?
Yeah. They call it. It's called purgatory.
There we go.
Purgatory.
That was crazy. I wasn't
expecting that. That was a nail biter for sure. That was, of course, a highlight. I didn't expect Tori to go home. I thought she was going to win, even though Jenna is a fierce competitor. Jenna has surprised a lot of people. I think at first people look at her because she's not really loud and boisterous. And so I think a lot of people underestimated her when she first started doing the challenges. And then she would just come and beat people. And they were like, oh, we didn't expect that. And so now people know, but I think Tori definitely thought her head was in the game. This is somebody I could, maybe pick off pretty easily. Let me do that. And even though she didn't know that was exactly who she was going to get, I think Tori, I commend her because she's doing things the guys won't do. She's throwing herself in because she knows she needs a skull. And it's at some point in time, time's going to run out. So you got to get that skull. And she was like, now's the time. And she could have had a number of people that could have gone in, but she was up for the challenge and I commend her. But she ended up getting beat by this kind of margin.
And the thing was, on top of that, Lem, I do feel like she was kind of doubting herself, when she was talking to Jordan, you're like, look, everyone's like pressuring me that I'm going to have this win. And like, to be honest, like I'm on the screen, like, yeah, Tori got this. Like she's been winning eliminations. I'm not ready to see her go yet. I know a lot of other fans were not ready to see her go yet. And the fact that Jenna did come in, I mean, she was quiet, but you know what? She was smashing them bricks like they was her boyfriend. Okay. She was not playing and she was ready to get that win.
In a way, I feel like this was kind of humbling for Tori. Not to say that she's very arrogant, but no, Tori is one of like the best competitors out there. So I feel like she kind of did feel like, oh, I got this. Like this is an easy red skull for me. I got it. So I feel like it was kind of like, humble yourself, queen.
Yeah, I mean, definitely humbling for sure because she voted. She wanted to go in. She wasn't like people just put her in because of whatever reason. But I'm just saying that it's really weird. And we've talked about this before. Playing this game, the way the game is, because you have to go into elimination, it makes the strategy a whole lot different. When you just leave yourself out of it, it's easier to play the game. But this makes it a lot more difficult because it's like, when do you go in? You take a gamble, everything's a risk. But, at some point in time, you have to do it.
My thing is like when they voted her in, it was like unanimous. It's the wine, y'all. You
Bottle.
can say it for me?
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay. It was unanimous because, and I was like, I feel like it was like that because they all wanted to see her go. I don't think they were like, yeah, Tori, go get your red skull. Like, I feel like people were like plotting to set her up for failure.
She's not on any alliance. I mean, she really has Jordan.
Yeah.
And I think she was, they were working on trying to, maybe get, I know that Jordan was talking about when we saw, get the new couple, Swaggy and his girl Bailey on their side as well. But ultimately they don't have the numbers. And so it could have been a situation, I think, because she wanted to go in. I think it was a situation we don't need to deliberate. Go ahead. And the guys, they don't care because it's a female situation. So,
well,
go ahead.
Yeah, in the live chat, who dat PYT, love the name, says, let's not forget Tori tried to convince Jenna to throw herself in simply so she could go against her to get the red skull. So she's saying, don't forget that Tori's been ready to go up against Jenna. So yeah, maybe her mindset when she saw Jenna come down, like, okay, I got this. So
sure, you never know. I mean, it's a mental game, but ultimately Jenna got her. I'm ready for this guest.
Yeah.
I'm ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might have seen her. Oh, she's not on. She just popped out.
Let me text her.
Oh,
let me
back
text
to
her.
it.
Wait, but
Anyway,
I was so ready.
I know.
You keep using the mic. Left. You keep using the mic.
I keep using it. All right. So the next item up for I feel like an announcer. Like what is it? The people
announce the next topic.
Yeah. Oh, she's back.
Oh.
All right. Here she is. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. You might have seen her on The Real World Chicago. You might have seen her on multiple challenges because she is an OG. Ladies and gentlemen, she's fine. Aneesa's in the building. What up?
Hey.
Aneesa is in the building.
Girl.
I wanted me to wait forever. I was like, these people are never coming back.
Wow.
We got you. We got you.
This, or are they seeing this?
They're seeing it,
girl. They're seeing all of it.
Really fix my life because they keep talking about she's obese, she's this, she's that. I was like,
okay, first of all, girl, you got body, and all these girls wish
all these
that body.
keep paying for these bodies.
Okay, and you got that body. So
the free body, not for everybody, but this is a born body with a white mom, so I got hips. I guess.
Aneesa, you're beautiful.
Girl,
Aneesa.
you are beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. I've always been a fan, so it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we got to get to it because there's so much to talk about.
Yes.
Obviously, this was a huge episode for you because there was a lot of stuff that went down, especially with Nani, and I want to start there because it wrapped up in a bow. Like she apologized after the fact. But I want to go back to that situation when you all were talking, because the one thing that you kept iterating is that you all are real friends. Like it wasn't a situation where you guys are enemies or you guys have beef. Like you are real friends, and you were literally just trying to do a friendly gesture, knowing how it can be when you're kind of out of pocket after you've been drinking or whatever, and it ended up backfiring because she just went left. So take us back to that. What was the motive? What were you seeing? And what caused you to react?
So I just saw them getting like friendly, and that's all fine and good. But I wanted to catch before the cameras did. So when you see me sitting there next to Melissa, I didn't know the conversation that they were having. I literally reacted just off of looking. I didn't hear anything they had said. So if I never stepped in, I mean, I don't know what would have happened. But for me personally, like, I'm a good friend. And Jenna, well, to back up, Jenna and Kayla got thrown in last minute. And Nani and I had been in contact. She was like, "You coming on World of Worlds?" I was like, "I broke my ankle. I can't." And then I had surgery again. She's like, "You coming on too?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." So when I was coming on this one, we were so excited to reconnect because we had been talking a lot. So we were so excited to be back together again. And then Jenna and Kayla came on. And then my place came from 1 to like 3, if even anything. So for me, I didn't even know where we stood. And as being friends, like I was the one being asked, like, what time is it, Aneesa? What are we having for breakfast, Aneesa? What are we? I'm like, I moved in this motherfucking house with y'all. Like, I don't know what's going on, but looking to me as like the big sister, the auntie, the mom, like people come to me for shit, and I get that, and I totally will assume that role because I love to take care of people. That is my thing. I'm a nurturer. That is what I do. So, I knew that Nani had these friends here, so Kaycee and I gravitated towards each other immediately, and that was my homie. Like I spent time getting to know her. I'm like, shit, girl. And back in the day, we would have been killing it. We would have been doing this shit together. Okay.
Hey.
Is she fine? I'm fine. We would have been doing this shit together. We would have made out along the way. Maybe, who knows? But like we would have been homies.
Right.
And you know, the first couple of days, Kaycee's fine. Everybody will say that. But getting to know her, like she became like my sister after that amount of time. Because when you look at it, it looks like 5 minutes in your life. But it really is like you go on a first date with somebody and you move in with them. Like it is super intense.
Sure.
One day is like 1 month.
Right.
So Kaycee and I were close, but like in that moment, I'm like, well, why don't I go to the person with the relationship, not the person that's without one? Because I knew Nani was drunk, and I'm not going to go to her and be like, yo, you're out of line. I wanted to go to Kaycee and be like, you know, you have the boundaries here. Nani doesn't. You have the boundaries, you know, set those boundaries and let's move on.
Right.
And it wasn't like people are like, you're a hater. I'm like, I'm a woman and I'm looking out for my other, you know, my fellow woman of color. Like I'm looking out for my girl in my queer community and everybody else who's involved in that, because guys don't look out for guys, girls don't look out for guys. But I did the same thing with Kayla and Bear.
Yeah,
I stepped into Kayla and I was like, Kayla, I know your boyfriend at home, you know, and the most I said it the most eloquently way that I could, and the most articulate way that I could talk to her about that. And you know, I'm getting like shit from left and right. Like, why didn't you step in? I did, but they can't show everything.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, when I said, like, I'm just trying to save one relationship because I stepped in with Jenna and Zach, I stepped in with Nani and I keep stepping in, but I'm like, why am I doing this for people that don't really appreciate it or see it for something that it's not? So for me, I stepped in to Kaycee because she was the one with the relationship. And I felt like in the moment, I needed to check that as a friend.
And you checked it right before like anything really did happen, because it seemed like Kaycee was actually, you know, being like curving it, but it wasn't like a big curve. It was like, oh girl,
it was like a small curve.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is like I feel like Nani was just more kind of like probably embarrassed a little bit, because I feel like in a way she was like really drunk and she was like, there could have been a possible hookup, and Aneesa just came and just ruined the whole situation in her drunk mind. You know what I mean? Because she was lit and ready.
And listen,
okay?
and maybe I did mess it up, but we don't know.
But
we don't know because it didn't happen. So for me, we can't go back. We can press the issue all we want, but we can't press rewind. We can't go back on it like it happens. So
and you were just looking out, and I mean, you did the right thing, because look, you know, Kaycee, you know, hopefully the rest of the season's clear and she goes back to her girlfriend and it's just this little hiccup.
So Aneesa, looking at obviously, you know,
I love you so much. We need to be best friends in real life, bitch.
I love you too, girl.
Where are you located? Don't be on the West Coast.
Oh, girl, I'm all the way over here in LA, girl.
I'll come over. My best friend lives right in LA. I'll come right over.
Come through. We all in LA. We all in LA. What's up?
Well, she got the vegan cheese spread. Don't play with me with the truffle wheel. You can't have her either, dude. Relax. Cheers, friend. That's all. Cheers.
Cheers. I have a water bottle. All right. So getting into, obviously she did come back and she did apologize to what happened. And it seemed like it was a sincere apology, and you accepted her apology.
That wasn't even the apology.
That wasn't the apology.
So the apology started in the kitchen.
Okay.
So I'm actually not supposed to talk about anything that didn't happen off camera. Anywho.
Well, I think
that was an addition. That was an addition to the apology.
That was the wrap up.
We were already apologizing. We were already in. It was the morning after. Let's just start there.
Okay.
Which it seemed like, because you guys were laughing about like the ramen noodles. Like after you're laughing with your friend, it's after you guys really got the apology said in.
Yeah.
For sure. We had not to just increase the mess, but I just wanted to try to get
Increase
this
the
out,
mess.
increase the
Increase it.
mess. But you know, we were
Really?
talking
Increase
off.
it.
Yeah, we were talking off air, and obviously we do have a sister podcast that goes on before us, and they had someone that's not on this season.
I
Marie.
know.
And you had actually reached out to her because obviously we advertise, you know, when you're on these shows, and so you.
Oh,
had
she
reached
told
out-
you guys that I reached out?
No. I
Oh.
mean, maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. Bottom line
I
is,
don't care.
the
I'll
bottom
read my
line.
fucking text. I don't care.
The bottom line is she was on there and she kept talking about you in the sense that she was like, yeah, Aneesa's on there, and I feel like, you know, she's gonna be in the next show and she's gonna be saying this and that. And she just kind of inserted herself. And I just want to know, like, why would she have bad things to say about you when, again, she's not even on this season?
Can we be specific? Because I have specific words.
Oh, girl. be
Thank you, bitch.
specific.
Come in and say it, bitch.
Yes.
Come in and give me those receipts.
Oh,
Let
apparently.
me turn you up so my neighbors can hear.
So apparently Marie went on the other after show and said that you call yourself a friend, but what kind of a friend? She said that a friend would mostly like egg their friend on when we're talking to guys. You'd be like, yes, girl, go. But you
But
were
this
over there
wasn't a guy.
cock blocking. And she
Right.
also said that she thinks you're jealous, basically. Paraphrasing. Oh.
No, don't paraphrase. Read me that.
The exact word is jealous. She said, when I dislike someone, it's because I'm jealous. So for her to come
But
on
that's
here and
Marie.
do that,
Marie
but
is
she's
jealous.
specifically talking
So-
about Aneesa.
Right, but that's also her
Right.
projecting. She
Uh-huh.
said, when I am jealous. Not Aneesa. I am jealous. So that sounds like a Marie problem and not an Aneesa problem.
I mean, I'm just saying what is.
But I'm saying what that means.
Right, absolutely.
So
I
anytime
agree.
somebody says like, when, oh my God, if that were me, well, I would react
Right.
because I'm jealous. Well, that's you, bitch, and not me, and you weren't there. Just because you got a new friend and now you want to act like she's your best friend and you want to fucking totally be gung-ho for her, that's fine. But what I did was be a good friend.
Well,
and that's
and the
all I
thing
could do.
was-
My intentions were good. And I'm not going to sit here and bash Marie because she prides herself off that. And her and I were cool. And she put inaccurate business out on Twitter. And I was like, bitch, this is not what it is. And I wanted to come back at her so hard and say everything that I could, but I was like, that's not me. In my heart, I'll let her win if that makes her feel better. But remember, she's #forever petty with Kaylah. And yeah. So if you want to be
Okay.
forever petty, bitch, that's what you're being.
Mm.
Well,
And that's
I
not
mean,
me.
How do you think she
So-
felt though, like seeing the episode play out and like you and Nani be on like really good terms after that? Like, you know, after she
Bitch,
tweeted all these-
exactly.
So it's like, girl, you could have
you
tweeted all
went
these things.
crazy. You
And
were
so was
maniacal.
Like the
on
next morning,
Twitter.
y'all did.
You act like I killed her dog. And you know what happened? Nothing. I didn't say one bad thing about Nani, did I?
No.
Did I say one
No.
bad thing? No.
No, not at all.
Did I shame her? No.
Mm-mm.
Did I shame Kaycee? No. I didn't say anything bad. I just stepped in for my friends. And all of a sudden, it's a Marie thing. It's not about her. And that was my biggest thing. And that's why I was like, why are you interjecting yourself in a situation that has nothing to do with you? Just
Right.
because you're sitting next to Nani on a couch. I've reached out to Nani. Nani reached out to me before this episode and was like, I love you so much. You are such a good friend. Nobody ever would have forgave me, but you did. And you are
Yeah.
so dope. And I was like, I love you too, girl.
Yeah. And I mean, Nani was throwing the low blows and stuff like that. And mind you, she was really drunk. I don't think I've seen Nani this wasted on a challenge before.
I haven't seen
honestly.
her. When we did Free Agent, she was drunk, but I've never seen her like this.
Like this.
And I was super sober on.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I didn't drink till I was about 27, 28, and I've been doing challenges since I was 21. So I acted out because that's just me. And this is the first challenge where I was at like a 2 to 3 drink maximum. Like after the things that happened with me and Veronica, after I just got drunk and like I hated the way that I looked. And it was bad because we were 2 women, they exploited that as like a very sexy and sexual thing. And
mhm.
if it were a guy, it would not have ever been played like that. So for
Right.
me, I had to go onto this, like, yeah, we're making TV. I may be boring for wanting to be an adult, but I'm making faces and doing great interviews and
Oh,
doing
so
what I was meant
good.
to fucking do. Because
Right.
I don't fucking care this season. I am
Right.
38. I am thriving with no Botox.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
thick.
hey,
I'm thick
hey.
and I'm on there and I'm still thriving. And people are
Wow.
body shaming me and doing whatever they want to do. And I'm like, fuck that. Because
No.
I've already paved the way for women of color,
Mm,
queer women, strong women, thick women, skinny. I mean, people will have something to say about you anytime.
of
Right.
course.
When I was 140, they had something to say. Oh, you're not
Mhm.
in shape. And now that I'm 30 pounds or 40 pounds heavier, oh, well,
Mhm.
you're not in shape. Like, pick what the fuck you want to argue about. Like,
Mhm.
what is it really? What is the
Mhm.
real problem? And I
Yeah.
think that we're having a lot of people that are thriving off of this and pushing all of these like confrontational like interactions are like 14 to 15-year-olds. And I told
Mhm.
Maria, I'm like, girl, you are thriving off of kitty stands, like
Right.
kids that have nothing else to do but like,
Mhm.
Honey, her trolls are
Oh,
something else, girl.
yeah,
Let me
they're
tell you.
relentless.
They're relentless.
and I
Right.
blocked all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I had to go do yoga again last night. I was like, I'm putting my phone down. I'm like, I can't be
Listen.
part of this because Marie and I were friends.
Mhm.
But we're going to be friends after this because I would never, ever, ever put her shit out there. The shit even that she said about me when she came to visit me in Philly, she
Mhm.
tweeted that to take care of me, which she didn't do.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I had just broken my ankle on Champs for Stars.
Mhm.
I can't even walk. I'm on crutches, 10 weeks, non-weight bearing, like, excuse me, can't even walk. She decorated my scooter.
Mm. That's nice. Gave it some
Um,
glitz and glam.
yeah.
That
Aneesa,
was cute.
I want to ask because before the episode aired, I did see that you had went on a live, and I did watch the majority of that, and
I
you
look
were
cute.
yeah, you look cute all the time. I like Aneesa. Aneesa's fire. Anyway, you were very candid, but one of the things that I noticed, because one of the reasons why I was anticipating this episode is because you seem to be a little nervous about what was going to air. And my thing is, after seeing it air, I didn't see anything
There was nothing to be nervous about.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but what was the, because I understand that, and we've been covering reality TV for years. And we know with all the people that we interview, we know that, a lot of things are heavily edited. Obviously, they're going to show what you've done, but you don't know what the edit's going to look like. So
Right.
was it a nervous thing because you didn't know what they were going to show, or what was it?
I think there was just a lot of pressure because Marie was like, apologize, apologize. And I'm like, apologize for what?
Mhm.
And I feel like I needed to not like sugarcoat it or preface it by like having this whole live thing. But for me, I wanted to like, totally say slut shaming is like not a thing for me at all. I don't do that. And for me, I feel like you expect the worst, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Mhm.
So you get naturally like nervous about it. And for doing this for 20 years, like, girl, if you want to see the duel, like I got DVDs, if you know what they are. But they used to show us our episodes before they aired. So we could at least prep ourselves. Now we don't even know what's going on. Because if we see it once, we know what to expect. So the shock value is not as great. But when you see it the first time, don't think I didn't watch a shit back because it was brilliant. And I am grateful that it was not how I thought it was going to be. I knew she was going to, I know the fight that we had. And I knew what she was going to say, but I don't take it that seriously because, I stopped dancing 4 years ago. And even though I did dance, I was making 150 to 2 a year. Like it wasn't a bad lifestyle. These girls are popping pussy on OnlyFans. It's great. You get, I mean, like there are so many things that you could say about a person. And I don't think, being a dancer was the worst thing that I could have ever done. I wasn't hurting anybody. It's not like I was selling crack to kids or pregnant mom. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't doing anything bad. So for me personally, there was a lot that I said and I was very vulnerable in my interviews and very candid. And I was nervous that they would have meshed in some other interviews that I spoke very candidly about my friendships. And I just didn't want it to be what it wasn't. So what they showed was literally what it was. And I didn't want them to grab other interviews and make it something different. So for me, I was nervous because I was like, they could edit this to be anything they want it to be because they don't care what shirt I'm wearing or how my hair is.
Yeah.
You know? It's just, and that's what continuity does for you. You know, as long as you look the same, we can piece this puzzle together.
Yeah.
And I understand what they're doing from that creative perspective. But for me, I was just naturally nervous, as a human being would be, going into an episode where you're fighting with a friend or someone who you think is a friend. So.
Right. Well, I want to switch over to the live chat real quick.
I was like, who's chatting?
That was me. That was
I was like, bitch, who's in here? What are you guys talking about?
No, so I just want to say, Carlita says, I love Aneesa so much. Zion says, Aneesa looks the fuck good. Okay, we got.
How old are you, Zion?
Someone said, I want to, you guys don't hate me about the names, but Annabelle says, damn, 38, she looks amazing. We have Orange Ram saying, I love you, Aneesa. They just want to say I love you. And so everyone's just like totally loving you, that you look so good. And they're keep on going. They keep on going. They're just giving you so much love, girl.
Word.
This is like my first lovable season, I think. And I know I've always been a lovable character. I feel like I always have been. Like, I always talk shit. I was always me. I think that now it's just like I'm in a different place in my life where, like, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, you've been super unbothered this season, and like your little confessions.
Sorry, that's my best friend. Relax. Right. Sorry.
Your confessionals, I mean, have had me burst out laughing. Like when
I got a mug with my face on it. I don't fucking care. Every morning I wake up like, nope. Look, you're gonna do yoga today. Nope, you're not gonna eat a pizza.
Listen,
nope.
The best part was when Nelson was like, "You got this, baby girl," and then it switches to you, and your face is like, "What?"
I thought my TV froze. Because when I did it, wait, I'll tell you 1000%. This is the most honest thing I'll ever. Well, I say everything honestly, but I literally sat there and they were like, "So how do you feel being Nelson's partner?" I was like. And I thought it was really funny, but no one reacted in the room.
Oh my God.
No one reacted in the room. So I was like, I guess it wasn't funny. And then they showed and I'm like, this is amazing.
It was so amazing.
I thought my TV froze. I was like, bitch, you're funny.
I'm glad you brought that up, Aneesa, because I did want to ask you about that, because that was, I mean, he did apologize after the fact. Seems like he apologized, after the fact a lot. But it happened, and twofold. Like, I feel like the old Aneesa would have reacted a lot differently, because it seemed like you were fairly calm for the way he was coming at you, knowing it wasn't true and all of that. But I want to kind of get how you felt when he was saying these things, especially about throwing the challenge.
So he actually yelled at me for probably 30 minutes. So, right. But for me, regardless of old Aneesa, new Aneesa, it's more of a, how much do you want to be bothered with? Like, how much do you really want to take on right now? And when you're defending your character, less is more. So had I had really thrown that, I probably would have reacted differently and yelled at him and been like, no, it's not. Or I would have told him, actually, I would have told him straight to his face I was throwing it. But I wasn't. I was so defeated when that piece hit, because I still solved that motherfucker by myself. And I was so mad. But it was just like, the way that he talked to me was just very shitty. And I don't know if you can imagine, you're in Prague. It's about 35 degrees. You're in a jacket that doesn't cover you. You're in half mesh, half regular leggings. You would know that, my brown brother, because you don't wear leggings. But you don't even have the gear, to keep yourself warm. And I think that we were out there for probably 6 hours. We were out there for a long fucking time. Those runs look so short, and they are not. And it just was it was just terrible and cold, and I just wouldn't have done it. It didn't benefit me to throw it. The only times I've ever thrown a challenge were on Bloodlines where I was protecting my cousin. So I was like, I brought you on here. If we're going to go out, it's going to be because of me. So I'll throw a challenge so that you're safe. And that's just protecting your family. So I don't care about that. But I would never have thrown a challenge that I knew I would do well in. Well, I would just never throw, like, I've literally thrown 2 challenges in my life and no one even knew. So my team knew because we talked about it, but they don't show you any of that. But it just was problematic for me because don't come for my character. You know, if I'm known for being, oh my God, people. If I'm known for being like a very straight up human, you know, I want to keep that going because that's really me through and through. So it was just bothering me because Nelson, you know, bites his foot off, you know, to spite his face. Like he just doesn't know when to shut up and like when things are okay to say and when things are not. He's like the man guilty of bad timing.
Honey, the bunker's having him going crazy.
It's not the bunker, baby. That's life.
Oh, okay. It's like, okay.
And your highlight looks banging, girl. You lean into the front. Yes, ma'am. Anastasia, what is that? Looks like me.
Honey, it's just a Mac.
Go ahead, Melody. You have
Speaking
something
of
to ask?
banging, what's banging on this season is all the faces you give us and all the commentary you give us. And the one that specifically stands out is about Bailey and the blanket and how she has you blocked. Sis, are you still blocked?
Let me check.
She said, let me check.
I can't.
I don't care that I am, but what's her name on your bag?
I'm not sure. Oh, you are still blocked, girl. She must have.
You saw the episode tonight where I hugged her?
Yeah.
She gave me her shower shoes every day. She let me use all of her hair products. I talk to her every fucking day.
Okay,
and what did I say? What did I say? She won't forgive me, but he'll forgive me, but she won't, right? He doesn't have me blocked on shit.
But why was she so mad about the blanket?
I don't fucking know. And now I'm seeing my friend got a blanket for Mother's Day with her and her daughter. And I'm like, that's so cute. But now I feel like a dick. But at the same time, like, it's cute when it's you and your daughter. And I didn't know that fans made it for them, but it was just like.
Well, we should have the fans reach out.
They just had a lot. They had so much energy in their interviews and not in the house. And that's what was a little weird for me. And that day that Jordan yelled at her and I'm in my towel, my tits out. Fuck. And she's crying. Who comes to console her? Me. Because we were cool.
So you left the house on good terms?
I just didn't like that Bailey always had a fucking attitude with people. And I'm like, you're new, chill out. Like, you want to fly under the radar in your first fucking season. And that was my only thing with her. And she was like, the girls don't support me. I don't have any girlfriends. And I was like, I get it. You're like, we had a whole conversation of me and my towel with her. And I hugged her and she was crying. And I knew she was upset. And so was I because Nelson talked to me all crazy. And we shared in that moment. And it was like the first time we came together, but she told me she was terrified of me the first night. And I was like, bitch, I'm cool. Like, don't be terrified, but be terrified. But we were cool.
Yeah.
We lived in the same room. She slept right above me. She let me use all that shea moisture. She knew that the Prague people had nothing for this brown girl.
Well, it's crazy because Spider-Man in our live chat is saying Bailey said on YouTube that she blocked her because she is emotional and doesn't want to relive whatever drama happened. That's the word.
That sounds like a personal problem. So
all these problems seem really personal.
That sounds very personal. That sounds like if it's emotional, that's what it is, and she can own that, and that's hers.
I just want.
I'm not going to knock her for that. I just this is the thing. It's imagine your 27 Tinder dates, right? 27 of them, and then you got to move in with those motherfuckers. You're not going to like all of them,
right?
And I hid all of my stuff all season, and I just went in my interviews, and I was like, pow, 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 pow. Hey,
hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
It's a chopper.
And that's how I came in all my interviews.
Yeah.
Like, bam, bam, bam. Like, fuck it. Because I was not going to say shit because I know what it's like to live in a house with people that you're uncomfortable with when you fight with them. So like, what's the smartest game you can play with like all these different players that you've never played with? It's like playing chess with like in a different country on a different board and you've never seen before. It's just so bizarre. Right. So for me, I tried to play the smartest game I could.
Yeah.
So
do you have
Billy
any,
and I never even got in a fight. So up to that point. So it's just bizarre. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have any like words for the people who are coming after Jenna? I mean, I know her and Zach, their relationship was on and off for a really long time. And, you know, I wish them nothing but the best because they are engaged now. And I do believe that relationships can get better if they let go of the past, you know? So we all want to wish, I want to wish them the best, but I mean, from what we saw this episode and last episode, I am just like, girl, you need to run. So do you think she should be super defensive or kind of just understand what people are saying that they just want to like let her know? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
So my biggest thoughts and my biggest advice for Jenna is stop explaining your fucking self. These long, drawn-out paragraphs of defending your relationship are unnecessary. And I was talking to Jenna today. I actually love Jenna. Jenna is funny as shit.
Jenna seems like a really nice person.
Jenna's by herself. Jenna comes up with all the Jenna's jokes. Jenna's straight jokes. She is fucking amazing. I love Jenna. She's amazing. But I said what I said about the relationship from an outsider's perspective, but I don't know. It's just problematic, and it's I don't know. It just made me feel bad because I was like, girl, like get your money. Yeah. Like y'all can deal with this fucking shit later.
Exactly.
Of course.
Like if I'm her man and I'm at home or her girl and I'm like, okay, I found out some shit, but bitch, go get that money.
Right.
Get that money, bitch. Why are you like? We can fight later. Like like how I feel inside is still going to be there when you get home. So I'm not going to try and force you to come home because that's just weird.
Right.
You know, so I feel like as much as I love Zach, he could have chilled out a bit and actually gave her the benefit of the doubt because he knows that situation. He's not like a regular boyfriend.
Right. He knows the experience.
He knows the experience. 100%.
Which to me is just makes it even worse because he knows what she's going through mentally in the challenge. And then he's going to put that on him for, in my opinion, being selfish.
The thing is that she loves him so hard. Like Jenna rides.
You can tell.
Yeah, for real. For real.
And when a girl is for you that hard, don't challenge that.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't try that.
Because that's hard. That's
Jenna would have listen.
That's hard to have.
When I watched that challenge, I'm like, oh, Tori's got it. And Tori is my love of my life, my heart. She is I was crying when I was talking to her earlier. I love her. That's my baby.
Oh yeah, I saw that you talked to her on live. Yeah.
She is, but I was texting her and I was crying and shit because I was like, she just, she makes my heart melt. I can't even. She is probably she moves me in a way that I feel like she's like my Leroy. You know, when you get a person on the show and you're like, damn, they're real as fuck. Like I would hang out with them in real life. Tori is that person for me. She's like that person, like she's not TV to me.
Yeah. She thinks like she's very spiritual and she thinks things.
But she's just a real ass bitch. That's it. Spiritual or not, like we talk about shit and she just feels very regular and like she feels like home to me.
Right.
And that's where like we connect. Yeah. So for me, it was as much as I love Jenna, Tori was my balance and my sense of calm and like.
So you needed her there.
For sure.
Yeah, I really did because she's like, I don't like anybody to touch me. And I'd be like, she's like, it's okay, Auntie Aneesa, I love you. And we had that thing where like I could only touch her besides Jordan. And not in a sexual way, but like I hugged her every morning and I was like, what do we make? Like she was my girl and she was like, yo, you're feeling anxious, go run. Like she motivates me. Like she is I told her she's my spirit animal in human form.
That's dope.
That's dope.
To have a woman like that in my life, I feel so blessed. Even though she's so much younger than me, I have so much to learn from her. And I feel like there should be more women on the show that are like that.
For sure.
Let it break
Real.
people down like
For
Maria.
sure. Right.
We need to build each other up, and it's so crazy when you see like this circumstance, like how Nani and I had that tonight. Yes, bitch, pour more because I'm about to say things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could obviously talk to you all night.
Oh, now you're gonna cut me off. It would be the black man that cuts me off, and the ladies that want to talk. This is some bullshit. I was just getting to it.
I keep the time on the show. That's my job.
I don't care. You should keep more time on the show.
Oh, it looks like we can do a little bit more. So they gave us some grace. Producers say we can go a little bit longer.
Okay.
I know one of our panelists wants to jump on.
Yes.
Yes.
That AfterBuzz TV part that's not showing up on my screen.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to see that person.
Come on. Yeah, he's a huge fan. Huge fan.
Aww.
And he does the show with us as well.
Exactly.
What's his name? So when he comes
Nino.
Yes, Nino. Is he a coffee? Is he Puerto Rican? Nino.
Filipino.
Oh, okay. I don't speak Tagalog, but I love it.
I want since while we're waiting for him to come on, and since we got a few more minutes,
like when I waited for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did want to ask about, you touched on it a little bit, but that elimination, it seemed like it was neck and neck. I mean, from what they showed, obviously MTV does a great job for keeping you in suspense.
No, it was.
What was that like? Was it neck and neck for real?
Yes. We had no idea. So Tori's pile was like piled up on one side, and then Jenna's was like pretty, but they have like the same shit. So I think that Tori was, so it was raining that night, and we were out there for probably 3 hours. So I think that Tori picked up a lot of wet bricks, and this is no shade to Jenna at all, but when you see
Nino!
When you see how Jenna's bricks were breaking, there was all that dust, and when Tori threw hers, it was just bricks.
Yeah.
If you saw that, if you look back at the editing, or the footage rather, it just, I feel like that played a part. So
the fact that Tori
they were neck and neck.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like Jenna had a better start than Tori did.
Yes.
And
that's what it was.
Exactly.
1000%.
And it also
Jenna
seemed like
did have a really good start. And I think that she was fueled by a lot of shit.
Sure. Yeah. And I also think it appeared that Jordan was kind of getting in Tori's head a little bit too much, in the sense that kind of was more of a distraction than a help, because she did mention like she was trying to get it. Do you think that it worked out that way or no?
I don't know if it was a distraction rather than, I mean, maybe, but I think that, to break bricks over a thing, you don't really need anybody to really help you, except for, hey, you're not making it into your barrel.
Yeah.
And he definitely helped her when he was like, move up, because she needed to. I mean, I was screaming for her. So
he really wanted her to get that red skull, y'all. That's all he wanted.
I know.
He was crying at the end. Nino, you got sound? You got
she
sound?
told me right before the elimination, she was like, if I go home, promise me you will take care of Jordan. And I was like, I got you, sis. I got you.
That's what's up.
So after I hugged him, when we got back to the house, I was like, she told me to take care of you. I got you.
Oh, man. What you got to say, Nino?
What's up, Aneesa? How you doing, girl?
What's up, Nino?
Yo, I just had to come on real quick. I just got back. It was my mom's birthday, so I had to go visit her.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Hey, happy birthday, Mom. But, I just wanted to come and say, hey, what's up? Because I've been watching you since Chicago. Like
Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes, we were all in diapers. All of us together.
Yeah, all of us.
Really young. I was 12.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to come on and say hi, because obviously I'm a big fan, and I was really sad that I couldn't make it today. But I got here in the nick of time just to say hello. Spoiler alert. I saw. Thank you. Spoiler alert, I have not watched the episode yet.
Wow.
I'm about to watch it, so I'm not going to watch this back until I watch it. But I had to see it.
I look like shit. Go watch it. A terrible human. Go watch it. I'm such a bad friend. Go watch it.
Oh man.
I'm bad.
I think we got time real quick.
Oh, I have a
Cynthia, you had a
game.
game, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can do that before we let Aneesa
I
go
love
on and
games.
wrap up the show. So real quick,
All right.
go ahead.
So
Cynthia.
it's called Who Said That?
Ooh,
All right.
bitch.
It's
Oh, that's a spicy game.
it's multiple choice, you know, to give you
I
some
love
choices.
her.
Okay,
We're
so
gonna be
it
best
goes.
friends after this. I hope you
Yes,
know
girl.
that.
All right, so the first one is I'll smash his head and eat it. Who said that? CT, Derek, or Jordan?
Oh, I know that one.
I'll smash his head and eat it.
CT.
Yes.
Yep. I knew that
Okay.
one.
All right, so this next one. Don't give that bitch no break. Excuse me. I didn't mean to call her a bitch. Is that Bananas, Devin, or Leroy?
Devin.
It was Leroy.
Oh, and you good with Leroy.
I know.
Ooh. That's
All
messed
right,
up.
here's another one. I wear a double D bra. One boob alone could kick her ass. Who said that? Coral, Julie, or Veronica?
Coral.
Yup, it was Coral.
Hey.
All right, last one. Ketchup is legitimately my biggest fear. Was
Jemmy.
it? Oh, yeah.
Remember that. You just didn't even need the choices.
Yes, I knew you
Who
were
else?
good at those. Oh, that was fun. That was
That
fun.
was dope. That was dope.
So
Yeah.
you're the one I was DMing with.
Yes. Since
I'm
they don't
about to
play
be all in your
games.
DMs tonight, girl.
What chat, girl? I'm a real one. Too.
Wait, I was DMing you too. What's up? I hit you up to come on the show.
I know it's different.
Yeah,
No love over here.
I'll put in a good word for you, Lam. You
Thanks.
know.
Appreciate it.
But what's my other sister's name?
Melody.
Melody.
Melody?
Mhm.
Of course it is, because you're all beautiful and like
Oh,
long-like and cute teeth and great features.
Stop it.
I need you, if you can, get me that AfterBuzz.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would
We
like
got
to
you.
do that.
We got you. We got you.
mhm.
Word for word.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Just so I can come
For
with my
sure.
ammunition. Pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew. It's
Right,
a
right,
challenge.
right.
Do we have time for one more question? Do we have time
One
for
more,
one last
one more,
question?
one
Because
more,
it
one more.
keeps being asked. People are asking, why did Marie continue asking you to apologize when it seemed like you were the one owed the apology? And I agree. So I'm kind of confused as well.
Funny you asked that. I'm still fucking trying to figure that out too. And that's why I was just trying to figure out why Marie was inserting herself. Like, I fight for my friends and I go for my friends hard.
Right.
But I'm like, Marie, I haven't even seen the episode. So why are you?
But even after watching it,
I think that she's so invested in the show and she wants such a good girlfriend. And I get that. Everybody wants a really tight best friend.
Yeah.
And I think that she's trying to prove to somebody that she can be a loyal ass friend.
Right.
And that's no shade or disrespect. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm seeing after all of this, after all said and done, after watching the episode where I clearly don't have to apologize for anything. I didn't call Nani out her name. I didn't threaten her. I didn't I still love Nani. And I still probably would have done everything the same way I did it.
Yeah.
But I look out for my friends, and Kaycee was my friend, and I stepped to her. I didn't even step to Nani. So I don't even know why I'm getting all this shade. Like, if I went to Nani like, yo, bitch, you acting crazy, Nani would have tried, maybe this fight would have escalated even more.
That part.
So my whole thing is like, Nani was my girl, and I feel like, and I still struggle with it because I feel like anybody who's like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, like I've struggled with our friendship for a long time because I feel like I've never said that to any of my friends, and I would never say that to any of my friends, no matter how angry I get.
For sure.
And I still am hurt by it because I feel like, are you really my friend? And I've struggled with it since we filmed the show. And that's been really sad for me because I felt like we were friends. And then when she apologized to me and she was like, I love you so much and you're authentic and nobody else would have forgave me. And then I'm like, am I a bitch? Like, am I a punk for forgiving her? Like, but that's me. Like, I'll forgive you when I know that, like, I know she didn't mean it, but at the same time,
now you did the right thing.
In my drunkest moments, I've never spoken to any of my friends like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
And I
did
feel
the
like
right
for guys it's a little bit different because you just punch your friend. You don't even say it.
Yeah.
And you guys make it the next day.
Yeah.
If she didn't say that, she just pushed me, I probably would have been like, okay, bitch, it's fine, we're drunk. But the fact that it was like almost premeditated and like kind of weird and very aggressive.
For sure.
I think that was the worst part for me because I really cared about her and I really do love her. And I feel like that was really bad for me.
Got it.
And
it could be
forgiving
something
her
deeper too, you know. It could be something just deeper as well, you know. So I feel like in those moments, like when the liquor is like that bad and like those feelings come out, it's always exactly it's always something deeper. So the fact that you did apologize, I think, was the right thing because you knew that wasn't really her, you know. And even though she said the things that she said,
it's not even that I didn't really need to. I didn't apologize. I don't know what I was.
No, I mean
like for.
You forgave her.
Yes.
For like acting
yes.
up, not apologizing.
And that's where I didn't know why Marie inserted herself because I felt it's fine, girl. It happened. I didn't know why Marie injected herself into that because I was like, girl, you weren't even on the show with us. Like you didn't even know what happened. Like there was so much other shit that went on in between that I can't talk about, but you guys know that. We're filming for like 8 weeks.
Yes.
Imagine an 8-week show.
Yes.
24 hours a day.
Yes.
Everything you could imagine that happened.
Yes.
Even what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
They would like slim it down to 1 minute.
Yeah.
We get it. We know.
With context. So you understand that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But without context. So for me personally, like I feel like my personality tonight shines and my character shines. And that's why I'm at my soul and at my core is a lover, is a protector, is a mother, is a sister, is an aunt, is a whatever. Like I am everything that is a protector. I'm everything that is a good friend. And my intentions are always good. They have never fucking been bad.
For sure.
And
I believe you, Aneesa.
You know, I lied to DM once and I was like, that is the last time I'm gonna lie to somebody and I didn't mean to lie, but it ended up that way. Like I never want I say every time when I walk on a show, if I leave with my integrity, I know I did my job.
Boom.
And I will always leave a show with that. And no matter what anybody thinks, I know I gotta go to bed with myself at the end of the night. And that's all that matters. So all the trolls and Marie, I can still go to sleep. I had my best night of sleep last night, bitch. I did yoga right after I talked to her. I was like, and I sent that text to her tonight. I was like, listen, I'm not gonna trash you, which I didn't. She tried to bring up personal shit, which was incorrect and inaccurate, but I'm not gonna do that because that's not me. I'm not gonna stoop to that level because it just doesn't prove anything.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't make any sense. Like
it just
my mom said it best. Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Fact.
Absolutely. Aneesa, we have to thank you so much for being on our show. This has been so amazing. Aneesa, we love you.
I love you guys. I'm gonna crawl to your crib. I'm coming to LA. We're gonna do a podcast on the corner.
Let's go.
Wine, bitch. Wine.
Podcast on the corner. That's the new show. That's the new show. Podcast on the corner.
Yes, podcast on the corner with Frozen. I want to do my Saturday night and just talk about all the sex I had. You cut all this shit out at the end, but
that's okay. Oh man, thank you so much, Aneesa.
We booking you.
I love you guys so much.
Love you. So much fun.
I really do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And what we'll do is we'll have you back because you know we're gonna have you back. We're gonna be on there for a while, so the whole season. So we're gonna have you back for sure because you're the best.
So if I have my podcast, you guys gotta tune in.
Yes, girl.
Absolutely.
Send me the link, girl. Send me the link.
Bitch, I got you, boo. You're my new best friend. I'm about to sneak in your DMs right now. So
don't play. Okay.
Oh man, but you gotta click out yourself.
Yours, we can't.
Wait, Gonzalez.
You have to click out yourself.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, you
okay.
Did?
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Boom.
We're still live.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Here.
I just had to come in real quick.
I know.
Yeah, Nino.
We appreciate it, man.
What?
That was dope.
So we're good on.
We're still live. You guys are live.
Okay.
Yes, we're live. Yes,
Yes.
I know
Um,
you're alive.
so
Pause. Is there any news and gossip? Pause. Because
I
someone was
mean,
asking for
we
it.
kind of covered
We
it.
covered
Other
it.
than
We covered
the
it.
only thing is, me and you got some tweets tonight, Sensei. So
Oh, we got some tweets.
we got
We
some
got
tweets.
tweets. What do we
We'll
get?
talk about it. We'll
You
talk
and I.
about it.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
of course.
Oh
I know where that's
Lord,
from.
honey.
I know where that's from.
Honey, I'm
Real
gonna be
quick,
sipping my drink, not caring.
before we close out, I do have a minute with Uncle Lim.
Cool.
And this is dedicated. We talked about him a little bit, Mr. Nelson.
Oh,
He was doing too much, and
I know.
so yeah, this is to Mr. Nelson, bro.
No, sir.
I know the game is getting to you, but you can't take out your frustration on these women. We saw you go at Aneesa for making a mistake and accusing her for throwing the challenge. Then you go at Kaylah for simply speaking her mind and ultimately accuse her of something that you may not know that it even happened. And you ultimately slut shame her. You have done this many times, and you should know, aside from it being whack, it puts a target on your back. I do appreciate you that you apologize more times you do it, but the less effective it becomes. When I was a little kid, I would apologize to my mom every night for everything wrong I had done that day. Keyword, I was a kid. You got to think before you speak. You have taken the phrase, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, and turned it into a Disney movie. Throw away the light up shoes, the dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, and everything else kids like, and just grow up. It'll serve you better in the long run. And that's all I have to say. Boom.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a great show. Shout out to Aneesa. She blessed us.
That was
Yeah.
so much
Gave us
fun.
Love
all the-
her.
That was so dope. We definitely have to have her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going down.
And
make
Nina,
sure
I'm
you
glad
tune
you
in.
joined us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for like 2
Sorry.
minutes, I just had to say hello.
Exactly. Tomorrow we have Rogan lunchtime podcast, 12 noon. Make sure you tune in. Same bat time, same bat channel, just like the same situation, but 12 o'clock special interview with Rogan because he's, way far away
In the UK.
And also next week, we have none other than Kaycee joining us. So make sure you
Hey.
tune in next week because that's going to be fire too. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, aka Uncle Lim, and you can find me everywhere at Uncle Lim. Sensei, where you at?
Y'all already know where to follow your girl at Sensei Don't Play. And don't be late.
Melody, where you at?
You guys can check me out everywhere at Melody_Rose.
Nino.
Hey, y'all, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Lanier on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
All right, y'all. Until next time, tomorrow, we will see you. Make sure you tune in 12 noon. We got Rogan that's going down. Until then, peace.
I'll be there the whole time, promise.
Yeah.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.